Hey everybody, it's Missy. Thanks for joining me again today. This layout is for the Hip Kit Club, and this is another layout using the 2016 January kits. And I'm also using two of Nicole's cut files for this month, and you can find these free cut files on the Hip Kit website in the download section. And if you're a member of the website or the Kit Club, you can get these for free. And so I've just taken them and enlarged them, so they're going to take up most of my page here, and I'm just going to cut the little heart out of the O, and I'm going to back it with this photo here, and that's going to be my picture. And that's my mother-in-law and my youngest daughter from a couple years ago, and this was actually taken on Valentine's Day, so you know, this is going to be a Valentine type layout. Lots of fun pink and things like that. And I'm going to use that awesome black and white striped paper from the Hello Love Crate Paper collection. I think I could use this black and white stripe on every layout. I love that paper, and just had to use it as a background. And so to me it made sense to use a black and white picture for this to contrast with all the colors, and so I like the pops of the black and white. And I use that really fun geometric paper to cut love out of. All right, so I am going to get a little messy here. Big surprise, right? It's my favorite thing to do. So I'm going to start with the white gesso, just like I usually do, and an old gift card, and I'm just going to smudge it around. And it's just going to give me a white, a white base to start with for my color, and it's also going to drown out some of those stripes so it's not super busy. And I'm going to use the Pucker Up Pink Dazzlers that come in the color kit this month, and that's a texture paste. And I'm going to add in a couple things to kind of mix and match here. I'm using some other paints from previous kits. I think that was from last year's February kit, maybe. Oh my gosh, it's almost a year old. And I'm going to mix it together, and you can see here it's going to kind of lighten up the pink and just give it a completely different shade here. And I'm just going to smudge it on. I did this last week for my other layout, and I just kind of want to get some color on there. So I'm using a wet baby wipe. This is something different. I've never tried this, and I like the way it works. It's a wet baby wipe, and I'm just kind of using it to break up some of the bold lines of the paint or the texture paste that I have there, and just to kind of make it a little smoky and faded and smudgy. Does that even make sense? Smudgy. Because I didn't want harsh lines. I wanted to be kind of faded, I guess you could say. And this is another thing that we got from in a color kit a couple months ago, the Abandoned Coral, and I'm just going to mix that in. I wanted a couple of different tones here, not just one pink, and so this is going to give me a couple of different shades here. And this kind of gives it an I don't want to say orange, but it just gives it more of a different shade of pink. More of a salmon color, maybe. It's still in the pink family, but you can kind of see what I'm doing here. I'm kind of working around where the XO is going to go, and I'm just trying to bring in all those different colors that are in the Love cut file. Got several different shades of peachy, pinks, things like that. So this Dazzlers is from my stash, and this is called Sponge Sugar, and this is just one I've had for a while, and it's a very, very, very light, pale pink, and I just kind of want to tone down the background that I've got going here, so I just kind of smudge some of that over what I've got, and it's another light shade of pink, but it also kind of helps lighten things up just a little bit, and it's super shiny. I love the shine. It's very, very pretty. All right, so I made sure that was very dry because pink and green do not mix together. So I wanted to make sure that everything was dry before I came in with my teal color here. And this is another Shimmers product that I have in my stash. This is a Colorings, and it's a flat spray. I think this is called See You in the Morning, and it's teal. And I wanted to pick up some of the teal in the embellishments and the paper because I'm going to be using some of those as well. But I didn't want it to overpower the pink. And so I'm just using the packaging technique. I'm directly spraying it on. I didn't want this to have to be too neat, of course, because it's a messy background. So I'm just trying to get some color down there. And a lot of this is going to be covered up, but I like the way it peeks out from behind those big pieces there. And then I'm just going to do some splatters. All right, so I didn't want to leave the big X completely open, and so I'm going to back it with this graffiti type paper here, and it's the back of that pink that I cut the XO on. And I didn't want the X to be, you know, too bright of a color. I didn't want it to overpower the picture because, you know, for me, I love making the backgrounds and using the cut files, but I don't ever want something to overpower my photo because that is the whole purpose of the page, is to showcase the picture. And so I, you know, I didn't want to put a super bright color or something there that was going to take away from it. That's how my mind works, if that makes any sense. Hopefully that's not too crazy. And again, it's the black and white, and so I like how that looks. All right, I decided to do some hand stitching here, so I just grabbed a thumbtack and started to punch random holes. This is definitely not the most professional way to do this, but that's just the way I do it. I just kind of space them out and poke the holes and go for it. And then I'm going to use this light teal color for the X, and then I'm going to come in with a pink thread and do the O. And I don't do the entire thing on camera here because it is time consuming. And I did kind of have a hissy fit. I haven't had one in a while. And because my thread kept getting caught on the X, because the X is such an awkward shape, it kind of kept getting caught when I would pull the thread, and then it got caught on the love cut file, and yeah. So I finally just said, I'm turning off the camera and I'm going to do this. And yeah. So I just had to get that out of the way. It was getting on my nerves. So, yeah. Anyway, there it is. It's finished. I shed no blood. Everything is well. Fits are over. And there you go. I love how that looks. I am going to add some pop dots so it is raised up off of the paper, because it already was kind of raised up because of the edges of all that thread. And so I just added the pop dots. And this is going to make it easier for me to add some tangled thread underneath it. And this is an aqua teal color thread. And I have a little helper there helping me with my thread. She likes to organize all of my threads, so there's her little hand. So add some thread to the right and to the left. And then I'm going to glue stuff down. And that is Scotch Quick Dry adhesive in my little fine liner bottle there. I love that stuff. It works very well. All right, so I've decided that everything looks good. I'm going to stick it down. And of course, it's a little bit crooked. So I have to measure, because it would drive me crazy if it's crooked forever. And when I moved it, it pulled my thread in, so I had to dig it back out. So the rest of it is just going to be embellishing. I'm going to use some of the chipboard and some of the stickers, and all of this is from the Crate Paper Hello Love collection, I believe. And all of this is in the kits. There's just so much to choose from. Everything on the sticker sheet is gorgeous, and everything on the chipboard sheet is gorgeous. And so I just spent a lot of time staring at both of them, thinking, what do I use? I can't use all of this. I have to narrow this down. And, you know, I can't wait to make my next layout using this stuff, because I'm going to use more of it. It's just so pretty. Every piece is just pretty, and it's just hard to not stick it all down. And I love the colors. I love the different shades of pinks and the teals and the gold, and it's just all so pretty. And I don't wind up using that little pink heart there. And everything that I added thread under, I have to go back and glue down because the thread sort of takes up all the sticky part of the stickers. And I do pull in some of the My Mind's Eye chipboard buttons here, and I wasn't quite sure where I wanted them, but I decided to put them there on the right of the picture and form a little cluster. And then I'm going to use one of the brads also. It says me and you. And I'm just going to use my thumbtack again to poke a hole in my paper and put it right there by the X. I'm going to do a little bit of embellishing down here at the bottom. Not too much. I don't want to cover up the love too much, but I did add a couple of those shiny gold hearts. And then I'm going to use these really cute teal thickers to write the word always. Since that cut file said love, I didn't want to add in a giant title, something that was really long, so I just decided to add always. And I added some stitching right through it in gold, so those stickers are not going to come up. And I also added that little gold arrow there on top of that button. And I glued all those down to make sure that they did not come up. Now, to make the love cut file pop a little more, I do go around it with my black pen just to make the outline of it a little more crisp so you can see it a little more clearly. And then the last thing I'm going to do is, as far as embellishing goes, is add in a couple of these shiny gold Heidi Swapp clear stickers. And I just use a couple around the page. Some circles, some hearts, the word happy over there on the right. And these are fun because some of them are really subtle and they just give a little pop of gold without being too overpowering. The last thing I'm going to do is write in a little journaling and add some black color shine. And I do add a date stamp at the end, and that is it. This was a really fun layout to put together. Crate Paper has made it super easy and fun to create Valentine's layouts. There's the final page. I'm really excited how it turned out. It was really fun to do. I've got some close-ups coming up as well. So let me know if you had any questions about any of the kits or any of the techniques or any of the products that I used. I hope to see you guys again next time. Thank you so much to all my subscribers. I appreciate all your sweet comments. So thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great day.